quarter mark of the NHL season already, as we're almost into the month of December here. Holy jumping. And we're going to touch on our three favorite teams and kind of where they're at the quarter mark of the NHL season. So the Devils, the Leafs, and the Sabres. And just taking a look at the NHL standings right now, I think what we can say, boys, is that we talked about that American Thanksgiving kind of cutoff point, but I don't even know if it applies, because a lot of good teams have had kind of rocky starts and have just been inconsistent. And we think that it's going to get better for a lot of teams out there, maybe even including our three teams, which we're going to be talking about here. So anyway, let's get into this. Case, we'll start with you, man. The New Jersey Devils, 9-9-1, 19 points on the season through 19 games played. Obviously, it's been a bit of an up and down start for your Devils. Obviously, a few key injuries. They're getting healthier and just walloped my Buffalo Sabres on the weekend. So thoughts on your Devils at the quarter point of the season?
Yeah, so far it doesn't look good, especially when we keep talking about that American Thanksgiving stat. But something you have to remember is this team was in the middle of a 14-game winning streak last year. So anyone can pop off at any time. And I believe that it's in the Devils to do that. There's been three things to start this season that have really hurt them and put them where they are in the standings currently. The first is goaltending. It has not been good. There's been flashes of some decent goaltending, but overall, Vanecek has suffered in the goals save above expected. He's well below currently. The team is fourth last in the league with an .876 save percentage. So goaltending certainly has not helped them. Turnovers in crucial areas has also hurt the team, but also hurt goaltending. So I guess you can put these hand in hand. This team can be outperforming and dominating a team for 20 straight minutes. They have one bad turnover in the neutral zone or in their own end, and the team doesn't know how to react, and they end up scoring. But something that I've been maybe attributing this to is the fact that they've been playing 11 forwards and 7 defense so often so far this year because of injuries. This results in you not having good chemistry with your D partner, not quite knowing where they are on the ice or who's covering you. It's a lot different playing Hamilton with Siegenthaler than Hamilton with, anyone else. Hamilton needs that defensive rock on the ice. Same as, John Marino, you pair him up with someone who can play a little more offensively, but it's not worked so far this year because they've had so many injuries. So that's the third thing that's been plaguing this team. He sure has missed considerable amount of time after a Connor Clifton hit to the head. I like Clifton's response to the media after last game when they got walloped by the Devils. Smith and him had a little bout, but he says, it's not over yet. He hates that he sure missed time, but he gets that in the other change room. It's not over. So he knows he messed up and he's ready to answer the bell. I like that. Anyways, Heischer's missed considerable amount of time. Hughes missed time. Myers missed time. Nosek, Lazar, Howla, all these forwards have been out, and it's resulted in guys from the AHL cracking the roster on forward, as well as them going 11 forwards and 7D, resulting in some tough turnovers and some poor goaltending. So snowballing. Other than that, the power play has been phenomenal. Jesper Bratt has looked out of this world. So I think that this is a team that they're very high in the expected goal share, and it hasn't clicked quite yet, but at any time they're going to start popping off. And I think that 7-2 win over Buffalo is going to be the gun at the starting line.
Case, who is the seventh guy on the back end that they just need to play? Or is it the case where they don't want a 12th forward to play because they don't feel like they have 12 quality guys? What's going on?
All of the injuries have been week to week at most, and it's resulted in a situation where they can't bring up their best forwards because their best forwards in the AHL are Nolan Foote, and Graham Clark, and it was Tice Thompson. Guys like that who they're going to call them up for a couple games, and then they have to hit waivers. And you don't want to lose Nolan Foote right now to waivers. You want to bring him up when you think he gets a full chance, or when there's a long injury, something like that. So that's my feeling of what's going on there. The seventh defenseman at the moment is Colin Miller, so it does make sense to play him. But like, there's so many problems when you're playing 11-7. I think Toronto's experienced this as well, where, for one, something I never even thought of, but Ken Dynico mentioned it on there the other day, is the amount of too many men on the ice penalties for the New Jersey Devils is second in the league to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I was going to say, bet it's lower than Toronto.
The Leafs have 7. I think the Devils have 6. So it's ridiculous. But I think no one knows. Am I going? Am I not going? Am I going with my regular lineup? Am I slotting down to the next line to cover that one gap? Like, it's such a mess. But injuries has played a big part in that, and missing your top 2 centers results in, Michael McLeod stepping up and playing very well on the first line, but he's not Jack Hughes and he's not Nico Hischier.
Yeah, obviously. And then missing Timo Meier too. Not only are you missing some scoring and power play scoring too, but you're missing a physical presence as well, which of course just adds to it. But I asked about the lineup because when I was digging into some of the numbers, I noticed that they're not giving up a crazy amount compared to other teams. Like, I think, just checking my notes here, they're 14th in the league in expected goals against. So it's not like the D's been terrible. They just have been sort of unlucky in the goaltending department. But every line that I looked at that had Brendan Smith on it is getting outchanced every time they're out there. So I don't like, is that the problem? Is Smith not playing well, or is there more to it?
The Devils, you should read the comments on the Devils post, because it's everyone calling for Brendan Smith's head at this point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's a likable guy, and he has moments, he's unnoticeable, which is a good thing, until he makes a terrible mistake. And it's frustrating. They've actually been playing him at forward the last 2 games.
Really?
He started as a forward, I believe, in New York. He played winger for a while. And they have him back there now. They actually just sent down Wallman, which tells me that Meier's back, or they think that Smith is a great forward. So we'll see how that plays out. Colin Miller did start the season injured, so that maybe is a reason why Smith, got the start to the season. But you read the comments, it's Smith out, Nemetz up, Miller in, anything like that, basically. So hopefully that changes in the future here.
I just noticed when I was looking, like, every other pair that has played together, at least, I forget what I set the slider at, but like, whatever, 60 minutes together on Money Puck, every other pair was positive except for every pair that Smith has played on. So I don't know if that's them playing him further up in the lineup than he should be, or what's going on there, but I noticed it wasn't good. But then also another thing I noticed was the penalty kill on this team wasn't very good, despite, again, not giving up crazy amounts at 5-on-5. Their penalty kill's 23rd in the league right now. So do you have any insight into what exactly is going on there?
Yeah, the Norris finalist has only played 7 games this year.
Wait, really?
Not Norris, sorry. Selke.
Wait, I was going to say, I thought you were talking about Hamilton.
No, the Selke finalist, excuse me, has only played 8 games this year, 7 games. So that's definitely hurt the PK. And then, goaltending also fits. It's your most important penalty killer, and they've been the 4th worst in the league. So that's where I'd say that I'm at with the penalty kill. Typically, they're pretty middle of the road on the PK, and that's what I would expect in the end. It's probably going to even out to there, especially with Hischier back. But they have the pieces. Like, Eric Howell is a great killer. McLeod's a great killer. Hischier's a great killer. So I think that's going to even out eventually. But they also, another statistic here, like, in the world of statistics, not a lot of PKs. I think they're in the bottom 5 in penalties taken. So it's,
smaller sample size.
Small sample size, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to ask too, do you think they miss Ryan Graves and Damon Severson? I know Severson hasn't been good in Columbus at all. I don't know if he's been scratched or just benched after getting that $50 million ticket. But
Now he's
you think they miss either of those guys?
I think Ryan Graves slightly. I don't think that they're missing Damon Severson, especially with him struggling in Columbus. He added, an offensive element that Luke Hughes is completely filled up. Mm-hmm. And he's probably after Brendan Smith, the second biggest terrible turnover player on the team. So, he doesn't make a ton of mistakes, but his mistakes result in goals.
Yeah, I think of our three teams, the Devils are probably, right now anyways, performing the furthest below expectations. But also of our three teams, probably have the best excuse for doing so because they've had injuries and stuff. But anyway, Harp, haven't heard from you in a while. What are your thoughts on New Jersey right now?
Yeah, I think we kind of had question marks about the goaltending a little bit. Obviously, Schmid is the goalie of the future there, but look, that's something that Fitzgerald may go out and address at some point. But I think that this team will get going if they can stay healthy here. Then they can get hot. We've seen that before. Obviously, last year it was ridiculous, that run that they went on with the 14 game winning streak early in the season. And just looking at the Metro, I think you've got the Rangers obviously at the top, and Carolina is starting to look more like Carolina. I think Philadelphia, it will come down to earth. We're seeing the Capitals kind of come down to earth a little bit now. Lost to San Jose the other night. Before that, they got walloped by the Oilers. So, I'm not too concerned with New Jersey. I think just a couple of injuries and just the goaltending has contributed to not the start that we expected, but they'll get hot here and they'll be fine.
Yeah, and they've only played 19 games, so they win their next 2 games, they're third in the division.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard that in the East this year, the cutoff might be like closer to 100 points for the playoffs, just because the West is so bad this year to start the season, and the East is so good. Like last year, like last episode, we mentioned that the cutoff for both was about 90 to 95 points. So say it's around 93. I've heard people talk that it could be closer to 100 in the East specifically. So it's crazy, man. There's so many good teams, and the Devils are certainly one of them. And like 9-9-1, if they get average goaltending, like how often do we say this? But if they get average goaltending moving forward, they'll be fine. Totally fine. They'll make the playoffs. No problem.